Oh, but did we catch them in the act or what? You know what I'm talking. Oh, did we catch them in the act? They are very embarrassed. They never thought they were going to get caught. We caught them. Hey, we caught them. Oh, it's so much fun. We're like the great sleuth.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we're going to look at the latest new Q posts. And we're going to look at why it's all happening right now because of truth tellers like these guys and many others who have come forward and are coming forward with the truth about what's happening to President Trump, as they will not relent. But we're going to get into that more right here on this episode of Just Informed Talk. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. I always like to begin by saying thank you to everybody who's hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you get notified when these videos get posted. And if you want to scroll down and see the thumbs up button, you can go ahead and click that. If you guys like this content and want to see me make more, that's the like button. So today we're going to pick up right where we left off, and that's right here. We left off at Q Post 3316, and we're picking up at Q Post 3317. As always, if you guys want to get caught up on those latest Q Posts, I always encourage everyone to come back here to the landing page. Watch these last few videos. That'll get you caught up on the latest Q Posts, and make sure you come here and check out this video if you're scratching and going, what is QAnon, the Great Awakening? This is the video you're going to want to watch. It's called What is QAnon, the Great Awakening? It will give you all that information about what QAnon is, what the Great Awakening is, how to get involved, how to find the information, how to do the research, all that stuff. So you guys are going to want to go check that out. So today we have a few new Q posts to go over, and they tell quite a story, but we're just going to take them one by one here, and we're going to start with this post. Now, first we have a video. It's a YouTube video, but it's of the Ingraham angle on Fox, where Mike Huckabee, Governor Mike Huckabee, was filling in for Laura Ingraham, and they had a bunch of special guests on there. You had Giuliani, and also you have Joe diGenova, and that's what Q is pointing us toward, a statement made by Joe diGenova. It says here, listen very carefully to statements made by Joe D. It's happening, Q. Now, what's happening? Well, I'll let the clip kind of speak for itself. You guys are going to watch this, or want to watch this.
Mayor, stay with me. The Trump world is now ramping up a campaign to turn the collusion tables and targeting undercover Democrats who were involved. It's not just the Trump world. Award-winning journalist Bob Woodward taking on the intel agencies.
The dossier, which really is got a lot of garbage in it, and Mueller found that to be the case, early in building the intelligence community assessment on Russian interference, I think it was the CIA pushing this, the idea that they would include something like that in one of the great stellar intelligence assessments, as Mueller also found out, is highly questionable. Needs to be investigated.
Back with me, Rudy Giuliani, and I want to bring in Joe diGenova, former U.S. attorney, as well as Robert Ray, former Whitewater independent counsel. Joe, let me start with you. Bob Woodward, who's no Trump fan for sure, and certainly not a card-carrying member of the Republican National Committee, basically was saying this was the work of John Brennan.
Well, there's no doubt this is pretty simple stuff for career prosecutors like Rudy and myself. It has been evident from day one that there was a brazen plot to exonerate Hillary Clinton illegally, and then if she lost the election, to frame Donald Trump. This dossier was a knowing part of that. It was created by Hillary Clinton. It was created knowingly by John Brennan as part of a scheme to do everything they could to harm Donald Trump. The problem for Brennan and Clapper and Comey and Baker and all of them now is that the FISA court has already communicated with the Justice Department about its findings. And their findings are that for more than 4 years before the election of Donald Trump, there was an illegal spying operation going on by FBI contractors, 4 of them, to steal personal information, electronic information about Americans, and to use it against the Republican Party. There are going to be indictments. There's going to be grand juries. John Brennan isn't going to need 1 lawyer. He's going to need 5.
Robert Ray.
Yeah, John Brennan, the raisin-faced turd muffin himself, is not going to need 1 lawyer. He's going to need 5. But notice something Joe diGenova said there, that they were using 4 different contractors. That's the key that you're going to want to look at. The next one here is very interesting because it's Q responding, and we're going to get back to this clip in a minute, don't worry. But the next one here is very interesting. It's Q responding to his own post with this picture. Now, this picture is the Punisher symbol, as you guys know, and it's commonly used. Different military branches and organizations, different subsections of that use this as a symbol. But what's even more important to take away is this, the file name. So the file name here matches up exactly with the picture that we were given back last year, May 14th, 2018. It's the exact same picture and file that's been given to us. Now, a lot of Anons were pointing to this and saying, is this a signal that we have something that's coming on May 14th? That's going to be big. A lot of people are saying that we're a few weeks away from what is coming as far as major indictments and major things being dropped, and that might be coming on May 14th. It's just an observation that I thought I'd bring to you guys, and I thought that was very interesting. But the Joe diGenova clip says everything. It says, this was put together by Hillary against President Trump, and we know this. And even people like Bob Woodward are starting to realize that the intelligence agencies have been lying. And not only have they been lying, they allowed themselves to be weaponized against President Trump in the lead up to the actual 2016 election. And there are going to be consequences that have to be paid. Now, the next one here is Q responding again to his own post saying Michael S. Rogers. Q. What does Michael Rogers have to do with any of this? Well, Michael Rogers is, of course, the Admiral Michael S. Rogers, the former head of the NSA, is the guy who went to Trump Tower shortly after President Trump was elected and told him everything. He said, look, Obama and his goons are spying on you. You're not safe here at Trump Tower. They've tapped your wires, as President Trump famously said in his tweet. Now remember, as Dan Bongino rightfully pointed out, Admiral Rogers went up to visit Donald Trump in Trump Tower around 10 to 14 days after he was elected president, which, according to Dan Bongino and other sources, is just about enough time to set up a SCIF, a sensitive compartmentalized information facility, i.e. a place where nobody can listen to you. So what happened was Admiral Rogers goes up to President Trump in Trump Tower right after he gets elected and says, look, this is all happening right now. You have Brennan, Clapper, Obama, Clinton. They've all been orchestrating this spy network to go after you and your campaign. And they're going to use it to steal the election back in 2020. They're going to use it to try to steal the election back before that too, with impeachment. That's what we've been up against from day one, from the get-go. So Michael Rogers is truly, in my opinion, an American hero who went to the president and laid this all out in front of him. And as has been pointed out by other people covering this, as soon as President Trump had this meeting with Michael Rogers, he just up and left and moved his entire operation to Bedford, New Jersey, which is where his golf club is, never to return to Trump Tower. Why was that? Because he knew he was being spied on. And this is all going to come out. This is where we are at right now with this investigation. And the reality is there are many investigations going on simultaneously. You have Huber's investigation into what lying and leaks that were coming out of Congress, and some investigations into Hillary Clinton as well. So we have a lot going on behind the scenes, and this is just one example of where we are at and where we are going. And Joe diGenova is showing us quite appropriately where this investigation is headed. So the next one here is a tweet from this account here, the Sun Q Zoo. And it says, I knew the fake news would attempt to connect the militia leader who was arrested on the border with hashtag QAnon. Sure enough, they tried to do it indirectly via the group he is a part of, United Constitutionalist Patriots. The charge, the UCP discusses hashtag QAnon. So here's the actual article from the Intelligencer, where it talks about FBI arrest far-right militia leader detaining migrants at gunpoint. Now, this is a true story. This guy was actually just assaulted in jail. That's another story that's just broken out. He was arrested for doing what the federal government should be doing already, which is stopping illegal immigrants from coming into our country. I love how they say detaining migrants. Well, no, actually, he was detaining illegal immigrants who are illegally entering our country across a border that's not being protected. And it is, and I'm, as far as I'm concerned, why wouldn't it fall to the American people to do something that is obviously constitutionally set forth? We have borders. We are meant to protect our borders. And regardless, that's normal for anyone to want to do. But they villainized this person, and now he's in jail. And of course, he's being called a far-right militia leader, which, you know, of course, he's far-right. But here it is. In the actual article itself, it talks about how it says they're talking about the organization, I guess, that he's with, saying it's one of several conspiracy theories that Hopkins and its group promotes, and his group promote. The UCP has a radio show that discusses QAnon and has suggested that Ilhan Omar was trying to impose Sharia law. So just more fake news, fake lies that are going to be coming out against anybody and anyone and everyone who is actually a patriot trying to do what's right for this country. And that's just one more example of where we are coming to and where we are at. And Q says, you attack those you fear the most. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing, Q. And of course, we all know that's true. Everything's been in the works since November of 2017. These investigations have been ongoing. These are the investigations that, as a part of the Mueller report, haven't been able to come out. Mueller's not even, these were the redacted parts of these ongoing investigations and other people and the corruption that they're involved in. Because that's all the Mueller special counsel was about, was a blockade. They were taking all of the information that would be normally given to Congress about how the FISA court was abused, about how President Trump was targeted illegally, about how this whole Russia hoax came to be, and putting it into an ongoing investigation so that nobody could see what was happening. That's been their strategy from day one. And that's what we finally have broken through with the release of this Mueller report. But of course, some Anons picked out something very interesting about what Joe diGenova had said. If you guys actually read this post from Q back in January of 2018, Q was telling us here exactly how the whole blockade was being formed. They were working on Capitol Hill inside of a skiff at the DC Capitol with all of these individuals talking about we're talking about 7 congressional members, 3 senators, 2 former Obama senior officials, and 4 outside contractors with no classified top sensitive level security clearance. So they were talking about what? They were talking about the blockade, about how to make the Mueller thing stick. They were talking about how they're going to go after President Trump. These are the people who have been working behind the scenes against our duly elected president. And as Q says here, this is why we are here. Good find, Anons. 4 contractors, Joe diGenova stated tonight, nothing to see here, Q. And on the boards, basically, Anon's been kicking around who these 4 outside contractors could have been. Obviously, you have a few that right off the bat you could say are probably involved. You have Fusion GPS. You have Perkins Coie. You have a lot of people have been saying Nellie Orr, Bruce Orr's wife, but that would kind of go with Fusion GPS. You have, of course, CrowdStrike, the people who investigated the DNC server hacking, which wasn't a hacking at all. It was Seth Rich with a thumb drive who downloaded all the emails and then gave them through Kim.com to Julian Assange, who then released them from WikiLeaks. But heaven forbid we actually tell the truth about what happened there. As you know, the media, the one thing I can't stand about the media is how they lie about how they know for a fact that the Russians were the ones who stole the emails. No, they don't. William Binney was the one who figured out that they used that whoever took those emails used the flash drive because of the download speed that happened there. And if you take that as a common sense approach to it, and you take into account what Julian Assange said basically about Seth Rich was gunned down in cold blood in D.C. All right? Why? A failed robbery is what they say, where they didn't even take his wallet or his watch or anything? No. Okay, what we've discussed here is it's possible that this was a contract put out on him by certain individuals in the DNC that had connections to MS-13 individuals. Because right after that, then there's a story about, I don't know, it was a few weeks, maybe a couple months later, where 2 MS-13 men were found, or gangsters were found gunned down just outside of D.C., and people have connected the dots and said those possibly were the 2 guys who ended up who may have been the ones who went and murdered Seth Rich, and that was tying up loose ends because they knew who they were hired by. Right? That's how these gangs work. And this is all alleged right now. There's nothing yet that can be proven here other than this is completely, these stories are real, right? If you start connecting the dots, it's easy to say the truth is not that Russia took all these emails and gave them to WikiLeaks. The truth is that Seth Rich did. Seth Rich took them and gave them to Kim.com, and Kim.com's even come out on the record and said he had this communication where he was given it and then forwarded on. That's why I believe they were, or I guess Kim.com has scored a sell, but I'm not even getting into all that stuff. This is what we've been told. This is what we're being told, and this is what is happening. And of course, the next one here is this tweet. Q wants us to look at this tweet, okay? And it says, "Stay tuned, Q." So, this tweet says, "These are the kind of Q proofs that are almost eerie. Today, Joe diGenova tells the world about 4 FBI contractors spying for 4 years prior to 2016. This Q drop is from January of 2018. So, of course, this is just one of many. This is where we're coming, this is where we're going, I should say. And we have all the evidence right here, guys. We've been told this since January of 2018. Over a year ago, we knew this was what was going on. But now it's all coming to light, and this is why it is happening. And I know a lot of people get, disappointed and say, well, why aren't there SWAT teams kicking down Hillary's door? Because that's not how this works. I mean, it isn't. You have to have an investigation. You have to have a grand jury. You have to have indictments. You have to, and these people, trust me, there's national security concerns. Think about what these people did to our country for a second. If a lot of these allegations turn out to be true, which I believe that they will, then you have to consider the fact that there is a national security risk that comes with all of this. You have people allegedly at the highest echelons of our government selling secrets from our special access programs to our foreign adversaries, and using their own foundations to enrich themselves by taking kickbacks for exchanging this classified information, which, mind you, according to multiple reports, may have caused the lives of several agents working undercover foreign or abroad. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's not to mention the technology exchange. That's not to mention the way that certain secrets were sold to certain assets, maybe brokered through Libya, maybe brokered through certain individuals there, maybe brokered to the Iranians and North Koreans with Russians helping. Who was really colluding with Russia? That's really the question, because I know it wasn't President Trump, and it's the Machiavellian attack is to go after your enemy with what you're most guilty of, and that's where we're at. So this is really continuing to grow into the story that it should have been from day one, which is the weaponization and abuse of the FISA court against a U.S. citizen and against the President of the United States. So multiple U.S. citizens and the President of the United States. So, stay tuned. And then finally, it's this Barack Obama tweet where it's him with a little kid and a magnifying glass. And it says, "I spy." Yes, President Obama, you do. I'm glad that he's at least honest about what he does. Back in 2013, he had the clarity of mind to put a tweet up to say, "I spy." Yes, you do, Hussein, President Hussein. We know you spy. And that's just a completely hilarious tweet that Q's pointing us back to, saying, will this age well? No, it won't, Q. So that is exactly where we are at here with the latest Q post. If you guys want, I'll have links to all the stuff that we covered here on the channel for you guys to go check out at your leisure in the description. But that is basically going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you guys for watching another episode of Just Informed Talk. A few more things before we go. If you guys want to help out the channel, come here, click the big red subscribe button. That helps out the channel more than you guys know. Hit the bell if you guys want notifications, and there's a thumbs up button. That's the like button. If you guys click that, that lets me know you like this content and want to see me make more. Also, watch these videos, share them on your social media, and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights down in the comments, because I want to hear what you guys have to think about all of this. Also, don't forget to go check out justinformednews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk, where you get links to all the Q stuff, links to different news organizations, links to breaking news, and of course, all of the latest videos from the channel here. You guys should definitely go watch this video that I just put up this afternoon. It's an interview with Alex Phillips where we talk about some pretty incredible stuff that you're going to want to go check out that has to do with the future of free speech on the internet. So you guys are going to want to go check that out if you guys get a minute. Also, don't forget to come find me over here at Twitter, at JustInformYou on Twitter. That's the handle. You come find me at JustInformYou on Twitter. Give me a follow. I appreciate everybody coming over here and supporting me. Really helps out the channel. It's a great way for us to have a conversation outside of the YouTube comment section as well. So another way you can help out the channel is the crowdfunding website Patreon, Patreon.com. If you guys saw the way that it goes behind the scenes, I depend on your support here on Patreon to keep this channel alive and going. Without you guys, I couldn't do it. So thank you for your contributions. There'll be links in the description. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. You know, you're helping create content on this channel on a regular basis, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate your help and support here. And another great way to help out is to go to this GoFundMe page I set up where you can make a one-time or anonymous donation. That helps out the channel too. I'll have links to both down in the description. I thank you for your support from the bottom of my heart. Now, before we go, we do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. And for this episode, I want to talk about a piece of scripture that's really important for us to remember as we go forward into this world, and talks about how we are God's children and what that means. And it comes out of the book of 1 John. It's chapter 2 and 3. So it's the end of chapter 2 and the beginning of chapter 3. So we're going to start in chapter 2, verses 28, and we're going to go up to chapter 3, verses 3. So I'm going to read this to you. It says, "So now, little children, remain in him, so that when he appears, we may have boldness and not be ashamed before him at his coming. If you know that he is righteous, you know this as well. Everyone who does what is right has been born of him. Look at how great a love the Father has given us, that we should be called God's children. And we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it didn't know him. Dear friends, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet been revealed. We know that when he appears, we will be like him, because we will see him as he is. And everyone who has this hope in him purifies himself just as he is pure." And that's the message I want to share with you guys. Remember that we are children of God. And we have to live a righteous life because we never know when that day is going to come when we meet our Maker, when God is right there before us, and we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, this has been our lives, God. Has it been for you? Because I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, and I'm sure you all are the exact same way. I know you guys are the exact same way. We all make mistakes. But what sets us apart and why the world does not know us, as it says in here, is because they don't know him, our Lord and Savior. They don't know his great glory. They don't know his grace. So it's impossible for them to know us because our lives are about him. Our lives are about being righteous and living a life that God calls us to. And that's how we change the world. That's how we make the world a better place. And that's how we prepare for the day when we're rejoined with our Father in heaven. Because when we have that moment, standing in front of God, when it's all said and done, I don't know about you, but I want to be able to look back and say, God, I've done everything I can. And I know I fell short many times along the way. But I always picked myself up and reminded myself that your grace is greater and that I'm living because of you and for you. And that's the message I want to give to you, and I want you guys to put out into the world to your friends and family. Because if you already know that in your heart, then it's on you to put that forward into the world. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you guys for watching this episode. Again, if you guys want, now's a great time to do it. Come here, click the big red subscribe button. It helps the channel out big time. And that like button lets me know you guys like this content and want to see more. So go smash that like button. That helps me out too. But I want to say thank you for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.